Hi, third graders. Welcome back to our class read aloud of Tomorrow Girls Behind the Gates. Wow. So we'll be starting chapter 7 today, but when we ended 6 yesterday, it ended at a part where Evelyn had decided that now she wanted to apply for the league members. And remember, that's like where the select kids get like special access, special keys to different areas. They get special night vision goggles. So she doesn't want to do it for all that. She wants to do it because she thinks that she'll be able to dig up some good info on CMS. And let's get started on chapter 7. When Evelyn comes into English class with us on Friday morning, a student from another class handed her a note telling her to report for a league interview. Barely able to contain her excitement, Evelyn practically skipped out of the door. "What about you?" I asked Maddie. "I decided not to apply," she reports. "Good," I said. "It wasn't because you told me not to," Maddie insisted quickly. "I still think you did the right thing," I say. Just as class was letting out, Evelyn returned wearing a smug little grin on her face. "So how'd it go?" Maddie asked as Evelyn took a seat in a just vacated desk near ours. "Awesome," she replied confidently. "I totally played the system. I told them everything they wanted to hear and they ate it right up." "So you're not on the no-fly list anymore?" Maddie asks. Evelyn shakes her head. "I told them that I was asking so many questions when we first got here because I was so nervous. But now I'm a total CMS fan and they are so going to take me. I just know it." Maddie and I laugh. "In that case, do you promise to let us maybe try your night vision mask on?" Maddie teases. "No way," Evelyn replies, laughing too. "You gotta apply for the league and you'll get your own pair." At dinner, the kitchen jobs were now announced. Maddie gets cleanup. She didn't look that happy about it. "Why do I have to pick up after all these rich kids?" she complained bitterly over her dinner of soy chicken wings and rehydrated string beans. "Everyone will have to do it eventually," I reminded her, as I was shoveling tofu chili into my mouth. "My assignment is kitchen staff, and that wasn't much better." "Of course it is," Maddie said hotly. "It's much better. You're going to be preparing the food or putting it out on the buffet tables, and I'm going to have to pick up garbage." "All of these jobs rotate," I say, but Maddie, she just does not want to hear it. Evelyn brings over a bowl of pasta with tomato sauce and takes a seat. "You know it's because of who I am," Maddie goes on, so wrapped up in her argument that she doesn't even stop to acknowledge Evelyn's presence. "If my parents were doctors, I bet I wouldn't have pulled cleanup duty. If my parents were rich and famous and like..." The alarm bell started clanging now in my head. Evelyn was sitting right next to us. And who knows what other girls could have turned around and been listening to our conversation. "Your parents are my parents, silly," I said loudly. "Any way they treat me is the same way they're going to treat you because we're family." So have you guys realized, just take a minute, what the huge mistake that Maddie just did? She's there going on a rant talking about how her parents aren't rich and this, but they're supposed to be twin sisters. Oh! Maddie blinks, then bites her lip as she realizes what she almost did. Yeah, I know," she mumbles. "I was just goofing around." "You're such a weirdo sometimes," I say lightly, still trying to, cover it up. "You really, really, really are." She needs to be more careful. Maddie rises from her chair, gazes after the cafeteria, and then leaves without saying another word. Normally, I would follow her out to make sure that she was okay, but right now, I don't want to. Before coming to CMS, I never realized how dramatic and negative Maddie is about everything. Even Evelyn, with her crazy theories, at least she tries to have fun and get along. Heck, even Rosie's fun during class. "Hey, guess what?" Evelyn says brightly, breaking me out of my frustration of thoughts. "I'm in. I'm a leaguer." She raises her hand high and I slap it in the air. "Congratulations!" I wanted to tell Maddie too, but what's bothering her? Evelyn asks. "Oh, so this tells me I don't think Evelyn heard exactly what Maddie was saying. Oh, it's nothing, I say, dismissing it. She just sometimes gets too touchy. Is it because she has kitchen duty? Everyone's going to have it eventually, Evelyn says. Then she grins. Well, except for league members, of course. I roll my eyes but smile. Of course, you guys are going to be too busy being those upstanding junior citizens of this new society. Even if I wanted to go after Maddie, I can't leave right now. After dinner at 6:30, the kitchen staff is going to show us where we need to be for the next 2 weeks. Hey, now that you're in the league, can you maybe get it to where we can keep our lights on a little bit longer at night? I asked playfully. No way, Evelyn says. Suddenly she was serious. I have to play by the rules or my cover is going to be blown. On schedule, Mrs. Brewster appears and steps up to the front of the room. Those students assigned to kitchen staff for the next 2 weeks, please report to me for orientation. Those assigned for cleanup crew, please go and see Devi. Turning, I see Devi standing near the buffet table. Maddie is already off to a bad start. She's missing her training session. As I start to get up, Evelyn puts her hand on my arm and leans closer. Tell me everything you see in the kitchen, she whispers. Will do, I promise with a smile. I'll report every specific and suspicious tofu dog I see. I give her a laugh. Just keep your eyes open. Seriously, Evelyn insisted. About 20 of us gather around Mrs. Brewster. She took a folded up piece of paper from her pocket and laid it flat on the nearest table. Find your assigned shifts here. This is the shift you will work for the entire 2 weeks of your kitchen staff rotation. The girls crowded the table to see if they've gotten breakfast, lunch, or dinner. I hang back and notice that Rosie is over by Devi with the other cleanup crew girls. I wonder if she feels as insulted by the cleanup assignment as Maddie does. All different girls are in her group. It doesn't seem to me that anyone who has been singled out to work cleanup for any reason. So why does Maddie have to act like this? On the first rush of girls to leave the table, I move forward to find my assignment. I groan when I see it. Breakfast? And I have to be there for prep work by 4:30 a.m.? Follow me to the kitchen, Mrs. Brewster instructs us. She leads us to the large room with a high ceiling. The fixtures and cabinets look like they're about 100 years old. They're white, deep white porcelain, and the sink is the same, with white metal cabinets, bulky ovens with a heavy door, and the walls were all covered with large white tile, and the small floor tiles are in black and white checkerboard pattern. I'm surprised to find myself taking notes of all of these little details. Evelyn told me to keep my eyes open, which seemed to have actually made me more observant. Mrs. Brewster took us around, showing us where everything was located. In the refrigerator, I see the usual, white lettuce, soy cheese, soy milk, and the pantries are full of canned vegetables and fruit. And most of the products come from NutriCorp, which had a big Canadian maple leaf on the logo. Oh, food from a Canadian corporation. I smiled to myself. Evelyn will definitely have a wild idea about that one. Now take a minute and think to yourself, why would Evelyn have a wild idea about the food coming from Canada? What did we learn earlier on in the book? That Canada was what? Just recently taken over by the bad guys, right? I'm back in the suite by 7, just in time for my curfew. Evelyn and Rosie's door was closed, and the door to the room I share with Maddie was also shut tight. It's just as well. Whatever's bugging Maddie, I'm not ready to listen to it. I'm just happy to not see her right now. But I would kind of like some company. I sigh alone in the dark living room, and the only light is the last rays of dusk making it through the tall windows. I'm just not in the mood to sleep right now, and I wish Evelyn were still up. I remember that last night we were given an oil lamp for our table. It's so that we could do a little homework at nighttime in the winter months. But even these need to be doused out by 8 p.m. When the last round of student leaguers check in, we're expected to go to sleep. I uncovered the glass globe, light the wick, and adjust the flame, putting the globe back. I take a moment to admire the soft amber light that's throwing over from the moon. The quiet light somehow reminds me of home. Suddenly, I feel awful about what happened at dinner, and I poke my head into the bedroom that I'm sharing with Maddie. She was lying on her bunk, snoring lightly away. Her social studies textbook was across her chest, and I took my locket from the top drawer and gazed at the photos of my parents before clasping the chain around my neck. For a minute, I felt a little less lonely. Returning to the living room, I slid my English reading off the pile of books on a table and opened it to the signed pages. It was a novel from the 1800s by Charles Dickens called A Tale of Two Cities, and it was set during the French Revolution. Most of the class hated it. They said it was too old-fashioned and hard to read. I find the writing style slow, but the book did capture my interest from the very first line. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. I couldn't stop thinking about that. It seemed to fit my life so well right now. The world was in an awful state, and yet here I was, having the most exciting, most free, most interesting time ever. I sit at the table and start to read by lamplight. I haven't gotten more than a page into it when I heard a key turning into the lock. Everyone is here, so who could be coming in? I stand alarmed, and my open book in my hand. Rosie slips in the door and shuts it quietly. Rosie, you scared me. I sigh as relief floods me. I thought you were in your room. It's past curfew. Rosie jumps at my voice and then slumps against the wall, putting her hand on her chest as though to quiet her pounding heart. I know, she says, breathless. I know. On my way back from the cafeteria, I couldn't resist taking a walk in the woods. I just had to have some quiet alone time, or I thought I was going to go nuts. I know exactly how you feel, I agree. It's hard always being with other people. That was starting to drive me nuts back in Chicago. Rosie crosses to the couch and throws herself down onto it. One leg was propped up on the couch's arm, and the other was dragged down the floor. But then I was scared out of my mind trying to get back in here without being seen. It was stupid. I'm never going to do that again. She propped herself up on her elbow. Hey, so you got the lamp going. That's cool. There was an awkward pause as we both realized we never really talked to each other, at least outside of class. So what do you think we'll be doing this weekend? I asked, just to fill up some of the empty space. Well, I don't know about the rest of you guys, but I thought I would cruise the mall and hit up a movie at the movie theater, enjoy the nice air conditioning, Rosie said, kicking off her sneakers. This is totally not what I expected her to say. Imagine Rosie making a joke? Hey, maybe I'll come with you, I said, playing along. I hear this great new fast food place that just opened, and you can get pizza and burgers and tacos and ice cream all in one place. I wouldn't mind some of my mother's enchiladas right now, Rosie said. Is that a Mexican dish? Right, isn't it? I asked, recognizing the name from a local Mexican restaurant by my parents. Maddie and I used to go there. Oh, yeah, it is. So you're Mexican? I asked. Well, both my parents were born in Mexico. I was born in Chicago, so that makes me American. As American as you. Yeah, of course, I say. I was just curious. So, anyway, I know a good Mexican place we can go. How many enchiladas do you want to eat? I don't know, Rosie said doubtfully. I better not have too many. The other night I ate like an entire cow. Oh, me too, I forgot, I say, keeping up with our funny joke that we were sharing. But after we eat, we can pop over to the health club for a game of tennis. Ooh, terrific idea, Rosie says. Let's just do that. Let's just do that very thing. We burst into laughter at the same moment. Even though it's not really that funny, it was easier to kind of joke about it all. Plus, it feels good to laugh. I see you're wearing your locket, Rosie observes. Whose pictures you got in there? A boyfriend? No, it's my parents, actually. I expected her to make a face at me, but instead she asked if she could see the pictures. So I opened the locket to show her. They look really nice, she says. The best, I reply. You're lucky, Rosie remarks. There was a knock on the door. It was a leaguer telling us to turn out the lights and go to bed. Sure thing, I say, as I turn the dial to lower the wick on the oil, putting out the flame. We were instantly plunged into near darkness. Only the strong moonlight that was washing over everything allowed us to find our way to our bedrooms. See you tomorrow, I say softly to Rosie. bright and early," she added. I tiptoed back into Maya and Maddie's room, and Maddie was still asleep, which was fine with me. I'm not feeling so lonely anymore, and I don't want to get into a bunch of drama with her tonight. I don't want her to bring me down with all her negativity. I've had a good day, and a surprisingly really nice night, but I'm exhausted, and I just want to go to sleep. And tomorrow we'll enjoy Chapter 8. All right, third graders and all my other friends, have a great day, and I'll see you again tomorrow.